So good corporate governance and business valuation is the topic that we have for this webinar. Our focus in this webinar is going to be on the good corporate governance, because globally the experience shows that the corporates who focus on good corporate governance, they automatically get good valuation from the investing community. Uh, what is good corporate governance? That is what is going to be our focus. And how does it connect with the valuation, business valuation? That is what we would cover in this session. So let me give you an idea, friends, as to what all we are going to cover in this session today. We would start with the first thing, that is what is sustainability or sustainable development. So today, world over, whatever talk is happening about good corporate governance or ESG, or 17 sustainable development goals, or schedule 7 of the Companies Act as part of the section 135 on CSR, everything, everywhere, the focus is on sustainability and the focus is on sustainable development. So we would start our discussion with sustainability and sustainable development. Then we would understand as to what is good corporate governance. Obviously, that is the prime focus of our discussion. So we need to have good understanding of good corporate governance. And by the way, in my experience and understanding, and I've seen people have a lot of misgiving about good corporate governance or corporate governance. So we will demystify or clear that understanding as to what is good corporate governance and what is not good corporate governance. Thereafter, we will look at is good corporate governance same as compliance? And answer, of course, is no. Good corporate governance is not merely compliance with the governance norms. That is what we will understand. What is purpose of a business and purpose of life? This understanding, friends, is absolutely essential for every one of us to get a good handle on the good corporate governance and all aspects of good corporate governance. So we will understand as to what the purpose of a business is, and so also what is purpose of our life. And they are all interconnected. And then, friends, interestingly, around the time when I was preparing for this session, we all know that on 22nd January in भारत में रामलला का द्वारा से आगमन हुआ 500 साल के बाद में. So जब when I was preparing for this session, and when I also saw the arrival of Ramlala in this country through the inauguration of Ayodhya Ram Mandir, it occurred to me कि जब हम छोटे थे, when I was in school, and I would always hear my parents, my neighbors, my relatives, my teachers, all my acquaintances always talking about Ram Rajya, Ram Rajya, Ram Rajya, Ram Raj जैसा था, Ram Raj वैसा था, Ram Raj आएगा. So this is I would hear, and then I realized that there is some connectivity between what the Ram Raj was and what the good corporate governance is. And when I recollected all that which I had heard about Ram Rajya, I could see that there was a very close connectivity between what happened during the Ram Rajya and what good corporate governance is all about. So we will understand, friends, in this session as to what Ram Rajya is and how does Ram Rajya connect with or relate with the good corporate governance. Thereafter, we would demystify a lot of terms which I am sure all of us keep on hearing day in and day out in the context of good corporate governance. So we hear about MDGs, SDGs, ESG, CSR, Schedule 7, GR3, 3Rs, Circular Economy, 3P bottom line, NVG, NGRBC, BRSR, and all that. So now what all these terms mean and how do they connect with each other, that is also what we would understand. And I'm sure all of you can very easily appreciate it and realize it, that understanding of all these terms, not only understanding of all these terms is very important, but differentiating all these terms and at the same time understanding relationship between all these terms is very crucial for the purpose of understanding good corporate governance, and that is what we would talk about and discuss. What are the 17 sustainable development goals brought out by the UNGA in the year 2015? We will understand them and also understand as to what is the significance of these 17 SDGs. What is ESG? We all know ESG stands for environment, society and governance. So what this ESG is and what are the common indicators of ESG all over the globe. That is what we will understand. Also understand relationship between the ESG and the sustainability. So sustainability that we spoke about in the beginning, how ESG is connected with the sustainability is what we will understand. Then we will discuss about the 9 principles of National Voluntary Guidelines, NVG. Then after that, NVGs, these 9 NVGs by the way were followed by 9 principles of NGRBC. So the 9 voluntary guidelines remain the same. Only thing is the context is changed. So the same 9 principles of the National Voluntary Guidelines were later on known as 9 principles of NGRBC, and NGRBC is National Guideline on Responsible Business Conduct. So national guidelines on the responsible business conduct, and how does it connect with the good corporate governance? How does it connect with the ESG? And that is what we would cover. Not only we need to understand as to what are the tools which are used globally for the purpose of bringing out good corporate governance by the corporates, but equally important is the measurement of the good corporate governance practices practiced by the corporates. And for that, of course, there are a number of reporting frameworks. In India, we have our own reporting framework, which is known as BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainable Reporting, and that is what we will be discussing. That is what we will be discussing as to how the business responsibility and sustainability reporting, how does it connect with the NGRBC, how does it connect with the 17 SDGs that we have. Then of course we will also understand and see the salient features of Schedule 7 of the Companies Act 2013 in the context of Section 135 on CSR. Thereafter we would be discussing how to find whether the corporates are fulfilling their GCG obligations. तो ये भी जानना जरूरी है कि किस तरह से मालूम पड़े कि जो कंपनियां हैं, जो कॉर्पोरेट्स हैं इंडिया में या इंडिया के बाहर, फॉर द रिस्पेक्टिव रेगुलेटर्स, हाउ टू फिगर इट आउट कि वो अपने ऑब्लिगेशंस को फुलफिल कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, उसका क्या फ्रेमवर्क है. दैट इज व्हाट वी विल कम टू नो, एंड दैट इज वेयर वी विल टॉक अबाउट internationally accepted frameworks for good corporate governance and sustainability reporting. We'll talk about integrated reporting and what is the integrated reporting, what does it mean, what is its significance, and why it is important today as to follow the integrated reporting, and how our BRSR is nothing but a framework of integrated reporting. Thereafter we would talk about the principle based on which this whole universe is working. And friends, let me tell you, if we understand as to what is the principle, if you understand the principle on which this entire universe is working, अगर हम वो principle को समझ लें, तो I am sure you would realize that it is very easy to understand as to what is good corporate governance and why it is necessary for every one of us in capacity of corporate and also in the capacity of individuals, why it is important for us to follow the good corporate governance. Thereafter we would come to the topic of business and business valuations and good corporate governance. We will try and cover and understand, demystify what business valuations are. And in my experience, I have seen many people have a lot of confusion about the business valuation. They always have a dilemma. If they have to execute a valuation assignment, they are never sure as to which approach to use for the purpose of valuation, which method to use for the purpose of valuation, and that is what we will try and mystify. And I am sure after today's discussion, you will never have a confusion at any time when you have to execute a valuation assignment in deciding as to which approach to use or which method to use of valuation. We'll talk about empirical observations about good corporate governance and investing, role of professionals in implementation of good corporate governance. So every one of us, all the professionals, so be chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretaries, MBAs, lawyers, doctors, engineers, architects, all the professionals belonging to different professions, remember, have a very significant role to play in the context of implementation of good corporate governance. As a matter of fact, this is our responsibility. This is our obligation as a professional. This is our obligation to ensure that the good practices of the corporate governance are implemented. How are they to be implemented? What is the role that we all have in it to play? That is what we would discuss. Then of course friends, since we are talking in terms of Ram Rajya, obviously I'm sure all of you would remember कि जब भगवान राम सेतु बना रहे थे, तो उस राम सेतु को बनाने में भगवान राम ने बहुत लोगों ने मदद करी, और उसमें हनुमान थे, बानर सेना थी, सुग्रीव थे, विभीषण थे, बहुत सारे लोग थे. और उसमें आपको बताऊं कि एक गिलहरी भी थी, a small squirrel was also trying to help Lord Rama in constructing the Ram Setu. तो वो जो गिलहरी थी उसकी क्या उसके कंट्रीब्यूशन की क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है, और लाइकवाइज एज प्रोफेशनल्स हम जो कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे इन द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, उसकी क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल आल्सो अंडरस्टैंड. एंड ऑफ कोर्स फ्रेंड्स, गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस is also good sanskaras for the next generation. So we not only have the responsibility of taking care of our generation, but we also have the obligation of taking care of the next generation, and that is what we would understand. And finally, we would also understand the relationship between the good corporate governance and other elements, because I have seen there is confusion at times in the minds of people as to how ESG or SDG or MDG or NVG or NV RBCs or GRC or CSR or Schedule 17, how are they all interconnected? That confusion distorts the understanding of people about good corporate governance. Towards the end of this session, we will also cover as to what is the relationship between the good corporate governance and all these elements. And I'm sure with that we would have gained a very good understanding about this entire topic. Now, before we start, just to share with you our vision and our mission. Friends, our vision and mission is knowledge of finance. Our vision and mission is to reach the knowledge of finance and awareness of work-life balance to everyone. I'm sure knowledge of finance may not be a challenge for we valuation professional, unless we are from the domain of land and building and plant and machinery. Otherwise, knowledge of finance, of course, all of us are quite well equipped, but our vision is also to spread the knowledge of work-life balance to everyone. Our belief and values are leaders only do right things and in right way. तो हमारा ये सोचना है कि लीडर्स जो हैं वो वही करते हैं जो कि सही है, और उसी तरीके से करते हैं जो कि सही तरीका है. This is a very simple definition and understanding as far as leadership is concerned, and that is what we follow in practice and also share with everyone. And number two, our belief and values are grass grows by itself. Mango trees need to be planted and nurtured. तो देखिए, घास तो अपने आप उगाती है, लेकिन अगर आपको आम चाहिए तो आपको आम का पेड़ लगाना होगा, उसकी नर्चरिंग करनी होगी, उसकी सुरक्षा करनी होगी. And likewise, small things, ordinary things can be achieved without doing anything because they happen by itself. But if you and I have to achieve something great and big in our life, then we have to ensure that we do tremendous meticulous planning, systematic approach, and systematic protection and nurturing of the aspiration that we wish to achieve in our life. At the same time, remember, finance is not difficult to learn, rather it is music to ears. And this is for those of you who may be from the domain of land and building and plant and machinery, because मैंने देखा है कि जो हमारे जो valuers हैं, जो land and building and plant and machinery से belong करते हैं, they of course need to use lot of finance in their valuation assignments, and that is where they tend to feel little perplexed. But I can share with full confidence and responsibility that finance is not difficult to learn at all. Rather, when you start getting it, you start feeling that it is music to your ears. Let's understand first of all the definition of sustainability or sustainable development. What is sustainability or what is sustainable development? Because the entire edifice of good corporate governance, remember, is mounted on the foundation of sustainability and sustainable development. तो इसका क्या मतलब है? और मैं आपको बताऊं कि सस्टेनेबिलिटी और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, who can define, who can be the right more, who can be a better person to define it than our former president, Dr. APG Abdul Kalam Azad. Dr. APG Abdul Kalam Azad defines sustainability or sustainable development in very clear terms, and I would like all of you to listen to it very carefully. What is sustainability and what is sustainable development according to our former president of India, Dr. APG Abdul Kalam Azad. So Dr. Azad says sustainable development refers to a mode of human development in which resource use aims to meet human needs while preserving the environment so that these needs can be met not only in the present but also for future to come. And that is how Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad has defined what is sustainability or what is sustainable development. Now, let's understand what does it mean. What he is talking about? He is talking about the environment. He is talking about use of the resources, and he is talking about meeting the needs of the generation of today and also meeting the needs of the generations of tomorrow. And that is what is that is how he has defined sustainability. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि हमारे पास में एक ही प्लानट है, एक ही प्लानट है, और ये जो प्लानट हमारे पास में है, रिमेंबर इट इज नॉट अ लेगेसी गिवन टू अस टू बी यूज्ड एंड स्पॉइल्ड इट. नो, it is a loan that we have got from our past generations and we owe it now to our coming generations. क्या मतलब है कहने का? कहने का मतलब ये है कि ये हम सब की जिम्मेदारी है, not only of the corporates, even of the non-corporates. It is the responsibility of every one of us to ensure that this planet is safe and secure, not only for the present but also for the future. The resources which are available in this plant are not only available for today but also available for all the generations to come in future. And that is what is the simplest definition of sustainability and sustainable development. इसका मतलब ये है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि जो भी हमारे पास में नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज हैं हम उनको कंज्यूम करके खत्म करें, क्योंकि हमको मालूम है कि हमें आगे आने वाले की चिंता नहीं करनी है. नो, rather we have to worry about the coming generations and need to ensure कि हम इस planet को उससे भी better छोड़ के जाएं जब जिस हालत में ये हमको मिला था. And that is what is sustainability and sustainable development. Friends, I would urge every one of you be very clear about this definition of sustainability and sustainable development in your mind, because once your understanding of sustainability and sustainable development is clear, once the fact that this planet that we have in our hands is an obligation and we have to pass it on in a better condition, once you understand this very well, then all the understanding of good corporate governance, ESG and everything will become very, very simple and clear in your minds without any doubt in totality. So let's understand what is good corporate governance. So good corporate governance के बारे में हम सुनते आ रहे हैं, सुनते रहते हैं, पढ़ते रहते हैं. अब सवाल ये कि good corporate governance क्या है. पर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि good corporate governance क्या है उसको समझने से पहले हमारे लिए अच्छा हुआ कि हम पहले ये समझें कि what is not good corporate governance. यानी कि हम जो सोचते हैं कि ये good corporate governance है, क्या वाकई में वो good corporate governance है कि नहीं है, पहले हम इसको समझ के लेते हैं. So let me tell you friends, many times many people tend to think that complying with the regulations under the Companies Act, provisions under the Companies Act, complying with the provisions of LODR 2015, complying with the accounting standards of Ind AS or of Indian GAAP is good corporate governance, or complying with many other statutes which are prevalent in this country, which are in force in this country, is good corporate governance. And let me tell you friends, that understanding is completely wrong. That is not good corporate governance. That is only compliance with the norms of good governance. So obviously the government and the governments of all the countries all over the world would like to ensure कि एटलीस्ट देयर मस्ट बी सम मिनिमम corporate governance done by the corporates, and that is how all the governments all over the world from time to time keep bringing out different regulations, and that is only to ensure कि corporates ने उन regulations से तो comply करना ही करना है. So remember, that is not good corporate governance. It is only compliance with the norms of the corporate governance stipulated by the governments of respective countries. That is not corporate governance. It is only compliance. So compliance should never be understood as good corporate governance, because once you think that the compliance is good corporate governance, remember, you are always going to underperform, because you would think that whatever minimum is done is sufficient and I have done my job and I am free. No, that is not the right way. So good corporate governance is not complying with the provisions of the Companies Act or LODR or Ind AS or Indian GAAP or other regulations prescribed by the SEBI, such as LODR, ICDR, prohibition of insider trading regulations, CEST, substantial acquisition of shares and takeover regulation, delisting of equity shares regulations, share-based employee benefits regulations, or buyback of shares regulations. So complying with all these regulations, all these acts, all these accounting standards, remember, is only compliance. It is not good corporate governance. Good corporate governance, friends, is much more than merely complying with these standards or regulations that we have, or the statutes that we have. So what is good corporate governance, and how to understand good corporate governance? Now let me tell you, friends, I can go on talking about defining as to what is good corporate governance, and I would never be sure whether, despite talking for hours altogether explaining to you as to what is good corporate governance, I would never be sure whether I have really made it clear to you as to what is good corporate governance, because good corporate governance, please remember, is not a matter of reading, is not a matter of listening. Good corporate governance is matter of thinking. Good corporate governance is matter of thinking. So if our thinking is set right, then the good corporate governance understanding also becomes right. And therefore, what I thought, to let you know as to what is good corporate governance, not in terms of theory, not in terms of words, rather in terms of incidences or examples from distant history of this country and the modern history of this country. And let me give you these examples. I'm sure all of us have heard of चाणक्य एंड चंद्रगुप्त. हम चाणक्य सबको मालूम है, उन्होंने एक कौटिल्य शास्त्र लिखा है, जिस पुस्तक लिखी है उसका नाम है कौटिल्य शास्त्र. सो चाणक्य को कौटिल्य भी कहते हैं. तो चाणक्य के जीवन से मैं आपको एक किस्सा बताता हूँ, एंड आई एम श्योर दिस incident that I am going to share with you from the life of Chanakya will make it very clear to you as to what is the meaning of good governance, what is the meaning of good corporate governance. And please understand here at this point in time, good governance और good corporate governance में इतना ही फर्क है. Good governance का मतलब है it is universally applicable, और good corporate governance का मतलब है the good governance which is applicable to the corporates. So that is the only difference between the good governance and good corporate governance. So जो governance जो corporate ने follow करना चाहिए, that becomes good corporate governance. So let me tell you this story from the this incident from the life of Kautilya Chanakya that explains as to what is good corporate governance or good governance. And as I said, and I'm repeating, good governance or good corporate governance cannot be understood by reading, cannot be understood by listening. It can be understood by thinking, because ultimately it is in the thinking that the good corporate governance happens. चंद्रगुप्त एक दिन अपने शाम के समय था, अंधेरा था, और वो अपने ऑफिस में किसी कार्य में व्यस्त थे. और जब वो कार्य में व्यस्त थे तो वहाँ पर एक दीपक रखा हुआ था जो कि प्रकाश दे रहा था, और उस प्रकाश के उस दीपक के प्रकाश में चाणक्य अपना काम कर रहे थे. तो जब वो काम कर रहे थे, इतने में कुछ 8-10 लोग आए और उन्होंने चाणक्य जी से कहा कि गुरुदेव, हमें आपसे कुछ व्यक्तिगत काम है. तो चाणक्य ने कहा कि आप बैठिए, मैं कुछ काम में व्यस्त हूँ, ये काम करता हूँ, और उसके बाद में फिर मैं आपसे बात करता हूँ. वो 8-10 जो लोग आए थे वो बैठ गए और चाणक्य अपना काम करते रहे. 8-10 मिनट तक उन्होंने अपना काम किया. और काम करने के बाद जो पुस्तक जिसमें वो काम करते थे उन्होंने उसको बंद किया, पेन जिससे वो लिख रहे थे उसको साइड में रखा, और उन्होंने एक और दीपक जो उनके बगल में रखा हुआ था उसको जलाया, उसको लाइट किया, और जो पहला जो दीपक जो प्रकाश दे रहा था उसको उन्होंने बुझा दिया। और फिर उन्होंने वो जो 8-10 लोग आए थे उनसे कहा कि बताइए मैं आपकी क्या मदद कर सकता हूँ। तो वो जो लोग आए थे उन्होंने कहा गुरुदेव, हम जिस मदद के लिए आपसे आए हैं उसकी तो हम चर्चा करेंगे, पर हमको एक बात समझ में नहीं आई। तो चाणक्य ने पूछा क्या समझ में नहीं आया? तो उन लोगों ने कहा गुरुदेव, हम जब आए थे तब एक दीपक जल रहा था, और अब आपने हमसे बात करने से पहले एक दूसरा दीपक जलाया और पहले वाले दीपक को बुझा दिया। तो ये बात समझ में नहीं आई, क्योंकि आपको अगर एक दीपक बुझाना ही था तो आपने दूसरा दीपक जलाया क्यों? चाणक्य ने कहा सही कहा, बताता हूं। और चाणक्य ने कहा देखो, जब आप लोग आए थे तब मैं मेरे सरकारी काम में व्यस्त था, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के काम में व्यस्त था, और उस समय जो दीपक जल रहा था उसका जो तेल है वो सरकारी खजाने से आता है। अब आप जब मुझसे मिलने के लिए आए हो अपने व्यक्तिगत काम के लिए, तो ये व्यक्तिगत काम हो गया। तो अब जो मैंने दूसरा जो दीपक जलाया उसका जो तेल है वो मेरे खुद की कमाई से आता है। एंड फ्रेंड्स, दैट इज गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, दैट इज गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस। तेल की कीमत कितनी होगी? एक दीपक में कितना तेल लगता होगा? उस तेल की कितनी कीमत होगी? और उस तेल की कीमत से फर्क भी क्या पड़ने वाला है? लेकिन दैट इज व्हाट इज गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, बिकॉज इट इज ऑल देयर इन योर माइंड, इन आवर माइंड, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस। अनदर एग्जाम्पल, स्वामी समर्थ, हम सभी ने उनका नाम सुना होगा। समर्थ वॉज गुरु ऑफ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज। छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज के गुरु थे समर्थ। समर्थ एक दिन बिहार पे निकले हुए थे, जा रहे थे, और वो एक कुछ खेतों के बीच में से निकल रहे थे, और वो जो खेत थे दोज वर शुगर केन फील्ड्स। वो शुगर केन फील्ड्स से निकल रहे थे और उनको थोड़ा सा थकान हुई तो थोड़ा सा बैठ गए, और वो बैठ गए तो चांस की बात थी कि उनके पास में कुछ पुराने गन्ने के चूसे हुए छिलके पड़े थे, और समर्थ आराम से बैठ गए, अपना थोड़ा सा सुस्ताने लगे। इतने में एक किसान भागा भागा आया, उसने चुसे हुए गन्नों के छिलकों को देखा, समर्थ को देखा, और उसने अपने खेत से एक गन्ने को तोड़ा और उसने उस गन्ने से समर्थ के ऊपर झुराझुर बरसा शुरू कर दी। समर्थ को उस गन्ने से पीटना शुरू किया। समर्थ मजबूत थे। समर्थ ने तुरंत उस किसान को काबू में लिया, गन्ना उसे छड़ा के बाहर फेंका और उससे पूछा, अरे तू ये क्या कर रहा है? क्यों ऐसा मेरे साथ में कर रहा है तू? तो किसान ने कहा, गुरुदेव मुझे क्षमा करें, मुझसे गलती हुई। दरअसल क्या है कि कुछ दिनों से कुछ लोग मेरे खेत में आके मेरे गन्ने तोड़ के चूस के चले जा रहे थे, और आज जब मैंने आपको देखा तो मुझे लगा कि आप शायद वही हैं, इसलिए मैंने अनजाने में गलती से आपके ऊपर गन्ने से पिटाई करने की गुस्ताखी कि गुरुदेव मुझे क्षमा करें, मुझसे गलती हो गई। तो समर्थ ने पूछा, लेकिन तूने ऐसा किया क्यों? तो किसान ने कहा, गुरुदेव बड़ा मेरा परिवार है, मेरे परिवार में मैं हूँ, मेरी बीवी पत्नी है, मेरे माँ बाप हैं, 4 मेरे बच्चे हैं, 8 लोगों का हमारा परिवार है, और 8 लोगों के परिवार का मुझे पूरा भरण पोषण करना है, पालन पोषण करना है। मेरा खेत छोटा है, उसकी फसल भी छोटी होती है। अगर लोग इसी तरह से मेरे खेत में से गन्ने को लेकर चोरी करते चले जाएंगे तो मेरे पास में कुछ भी बचेगा नहीं, और अगर मेरे पास में कुछ बचेगा नहीं तो फिर मैं मेरी अपने माता पिता, अपनी पत्नी और अपने बच्चों का भरण पोषण, पालन पोषण कैसे करूँगा? इसीलिए मुझे थोड़ा सा क्रोध आया और मैंने उस गलती की वजह से आपके ऊपर हमला किया। समर्थ ने किसान की बातों को बड़े गौर से सुना और कहा, कोई बात नहीं, चलो तुम जाओ और मैं भी जाता हूँ। किसान अपने रास्ते चला गया और समर्थ अपने रास्ते चले गए। अब ये जो खबर थी कि किसी किसान ने छत्रपति शिवाजी के गुरु समर्थ के ऊपर गन्ने से हमला किया, उनके ऊपर उन्हें परेशान किया, तकलीफ दी, ये समाचार छत्रपति शिवाजी के कानों में जंगल में आग की तरह पहुंच गया। और जब ये आग की तरह पहुंच गया तो शिवाजी ने तुरंत अपने सिपाहियों को आदेश दिया कि उस बदतमीज किसान को दरबार में पेश किया जाए। सिपाही आए, किसान को पकड़ के ले गए, दरबार में पेश किया। छत्रपति शिवाजी ने पूछा, हे किसान, मूर्ख किसान, क्या यह बात सही है कि तूने मेरे गुरुदेव समर्थ के ऊपर हमला किया, उन्हें गन्ने के पेड़ से मारा, गन्ने की डंडी से मारा? किसान ने घबराते घबराते डर से कहा, हाँ महाराज, मुझसे ये गलती हुई, मुझे क्षमा करें। तो छत्रपति शिवाजी ने कहा कि मूर्ख, तू क्षमा करने के लायक नहीं है, जाओ इसको आजीवन कारावास दे दो। और पुलिस उसके जो सिपाही थे छत्रपति शिवाजी के, वो किसान को लेके गए और उन्होंने उसको कारावास में डाल दिया। अब ये खबर भी कि छत्रपति शिवाजी ने एक किसान को कारावास में डाल दिया है क्योंकि उसने समर्थ के ऊपर हमला बोला था, ये खबर भी उड़ते उड़ते समर्थ के कानों तक पहुंची। और जब ये खबर उनके गुरु समर्थ के कानों तक पहुंची तो वो तुरंत दौड़े दौड़े आए और उन्होंने छत्रपति शिवाजी के दरबार में प्रवेश किया। जैसे ही समर्थ ने दरबार में प्रवेश किया, छत्रपति शिवाजी सिंहासन से खड़े हो गए और उन्होंने कहा, गुरुदेव, आपने क्यों तकलीफ की? आपने मुझे आदेश दिया होता, मैं खुद यहां पर आ जाता। तो समर्थ ने कहा, नहीं शिवा, काम ही कुछ ऐसा था कि मैं इंतजार नहीं कर सकता था। मैंने सुना है कि तुमने एक गरीब किसान को आजीवन कारावास की सजा दी है, जिसका परिवार है, और अगर उसको आजीवन कारावास हो गई तो उसका परिवार तो भूखे मर जाएगा। तो छत्रपति शिवाजी ने कहा, हाँ महागुरुदेव, मैंने किया है ऐसा, क्योंकि मैंने सुना है कि इस किसान ने आपको तकलीफ दी, आपके ऊपर हमला बोला, आपको परेशान किया, और मैं, मेरे गुरुदेव को कोई परेशान करे यह बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता हूं, इसलिए मैंने उसको आजीवन कारावास की सजा दे दी है। तो समर्थ ने कहा, शिवा, तुमने अच्छा नहीं किया। शिवाजी ने कहा, महाराज क्यों? समर्थ ने कहा, देखो, उस आदमी ने मुझ पर हमला ऐसे ही नहीं किया। गरीब है किसान, वो बड़ा उसका परिवार है, छोटी उसकी जमीन है, उसकी जमीन उसके परिवार के पालन पोषण के लिए पूरी पड़ती नहीं है, इसीलिए उसको लगा कि मैं उसकी खेत से चोरी कर रहा हूं और इसने मेरे ऊपर हमला किया, क्योंकि किस तरह से वो अपने परिवार का पालन पोषण करेगा। समर्थ ने कहा, शिवा, अगर तुझे उसने कुछ देना ही है उस किसान को, तो उसको सजा मत दे, उसको कुछ और जमीन दे। छत्रपति शिवाजी ने तुरंत उस किसान को बुलाया, कारावास से रिहा किया और उसको और जमीन देके वहां से विदा किया। दिस इज कॉल्ड गुड कॉरपोरेट गवर्नेंस। समर्थ को कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, लेकिन समर्थ के मन में उनके लोगों के प्रति जो दया है, जो करुणा है, वो दैट इज गुड कॉरपोरेट गवर्नेंस। एंड रिमेंबर, incidences and such instances are available not only from the distant history of this golden country, but it is also available from the recent past as well. And let me give an example of recent past. We all have heard of Jamshedji Tata. Jamshedji Tata, the founder of the Tata Empire. आपको मालूम है कि जमशेदजी टाटा ने 1902 में 3 बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स की कल्पना की। और वो 3 बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स कौन कौन से थे? वो 3 बड़े प्रोजेक्ट थे। नंबर 1, इट वाज द स्टील प्लांट in India, which is now known as Tata Steel. The second project that Jamshedji Tata thought of was the Institute of Sciences, which is there now in Bangalore. And the third project that Jamshedji Tata thought of is the power plant, which is now known as a Tata Power Company Limited. Jamshedji Tata thought of these 3 projects in the year 1902. और आपको मालूम है कि जमशेदजी टाटा ने ये 3 प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में क्यों सोचा? जमशेदजी टाटा ने ये 3 प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में इसलिए नहीं सोचा क्योंकि जमशेदजी टाटा को और ज़्यादा पैसा कमाना था। जमशेदजी टाटा ने इसलिए नहीं सोचा क्योंकि वो आने वाली अपनी जनरेशन्स के लिए बहुत सारी वेल्थ छोड़ के जाना चाहते थे। जमशेदजी टाटा ने ये 3 प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में इसलिए सोचा कि उनको मालूम पड़ा कि विद द एडवेंट ऑफ स्टीम इंजन, अमेरिका एंड यूरोप वर प्रोग्रेसिंग एंड फ्लावरिंग वेरी वेरी एक्सटेंसिवली एंड रैपिडली। और जमशेदजी टाटा को लगा कि अगर हिंदुस्तान में स्टील प्लांट नहीं डाला गया, अगर हिंदुस्तान में पावर प्लांट नहीं डाला गया, अगर हिंदुस्तान में इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंसेज नहीं खोला गया, तो हिंदुस्तान की इकोनॉमी आज के समय में 1902 की बात कर रहा हूँ, उस समय में इतनी पीछे रह जाएगी हिंदुस्तान की इकोनॉमी कि हिंदुस्तान की इकोनॉमी को रिकवर करने में 500-600 साल लग जाएंगे. And that is how Jamsetji Tata, the founder of Tata Group in the year 1902, thought of these 3 projects. और आपको एक चीज़ और मालूम है कि ये जो तीनों प्रोजेक्ट्स जो जमशेदजी टाटा ने सोचे, वो जमशेदजी टाटा के जीवन काल में नहीं कंप्लीट हुए. अराउंड द ईयर 1904 जमशेदजी टाटा पास्ड अवे. इन द ईयर 1906 जमशेदजी टाटा लेकिन जमशेदजी टाटा ने अपने ग्रुप में जो कल्चर बनाई, जो वैल्यू सिस्टम क्रिएट किए, वो इतने स्ट्रांग थे कि जमशेदजी टाटा के जाने के बावजूद भी ये तीनों प्रोजेक्ट्स के ऊपर काम होता रहा. और ये तीनों प्रोजेक्ट्स एक बहुत बड़ी रियलिटी हैं, ये हम सबको मालूम है. In 1904 he passed away. In 1906 finally the team of Jamsetji Tata Group found a place for setting up a steel plant, which was close to the mines from where they could get iron ore. In 1906 they started setting up the steel plant, and in 1912 they completed the plant, and in July 1912 first time this country steel was produced in a huge plant. And this is what is good corporate governance. Around the time 1904, before passing away, Jamsetji Tata was convalescing in a hospital in Germany. And friends, he would write from there to his team, which was busy in building the steel plant, or which was thinking of making the steel plant. He would write that when you set up the plant, make sure the roads are very broad. Make sure there are temples, there are churches, there are mosques. Make sure there are big grounds, playing grounds. Make sure there are huge long trees. And that is what is called good corporate governance. Nobody told Jamsetji Tata कि आप ऐसा करिए. There was no government regulation. There was no government obligation. But he did it because he felt that this is what he should do it. And this is what I call that leaders do only the right things and in right way. तो लीडर क्या करते हैं? सही काम करते हैं और सही तरीके से करते हैं. तो किसी ने जमशेदजी टाटा को नहीं कहा कि स्टील प्लांट डालिए. किसी ने जमशेदजी टाटा को नहीं कहा कि इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस डालिए. किसी ने जमशेदजी टाटा को नहीं कहा कि पावर प्लांट डालिए. He did it because he felt that it was the need for his country. It was the need for his country. By the way, एक और चीज़ आपको बता दूं कि जो प्रोविडेंट फंड जिसके हम मेंबर हैं, जिसके बारे में हम समझते हैं, this provident fund was first time initiated in this country by the group of Tatas. And remember, there was no obligation from the government कि आप अपनी कंपनी में प्रोविडेंट फंड बनाइए. Tata Group thought that we should do it. And why we should do it? Because we have to take care of our employees and our people. And that is what is good corporate governance. And let me give you one more example, and then of course we move forward. The another example that I would like to give you is of another legend from another industry doyen of this country, and that is Ghanshyam Das Ji Tata. Late Shri Ghanshyam Das Ji Tata. Late Shri Ghanshyam Das Ji Birla. क्षमा करें, Late Shri Ghanshyam Das Ji Birla. Now let me share with you a letter. This letter was written by Ghanshyam Das Birla ji to his son Basant Birla, B.K. Birla. And this letter, of course, today is available in the public domain. You can Google it and you can read it, and maybe you can preserve it and use it as a reference. So Ghanshyam Das ji Birla अपने यंग बेटे बसंत बिरला को एक लेटर लिखते हैं, और ये लेटर मैं आपको क्यों शेयर कर रहा हूँ in the context of the good corporate governance, because as I said that good corporate governance does not come by listening, does not come by hearing. Good corporate governance is a matter of mind, it's a mindset, it's an attitude. And this letter which I am going to read before you will make you aware as to what was the thought process of Ghanshyam Das Birla as a business doyen, and that is what is good corporate governance. He writes, Dear Basant, I advise you to read this letter when you become an adult and are older. I am writing from my experience. To be born as a human being in this world is a rare opportunity. This is true. One who abuses one's body, having obtained the human form, is only an animal. You have received a lot of wealth and good resources. If these are used to serve others, and I'm highlighting and I'm repeating purposely, if these are used to serve others, then of course such resources will become useful. If not, if not, they will become a devil's weapon. Pay heed to this principle. Now that is what he is writing to his son. So resources should be used to serve others and not for your personal benefit. He further writes, never use wealth for luxury and cheap pleasure. Ravana had indulged in luxury and promiscuity. King Janaka had rendered service. Wealth is never eternal. Therefore, so long as it lasts, use it for serving others. Use the least possible amount for yourself. The rest you should spend to alleviate the sorrows of suffering ones. This is what is good corporate governance. Nobody is asking Ghanshyam Das Birla ji to write a letter of this kind to his son. He is writing on his own, and this letter conveys very clearly his concerns for the people. This letter very clearly conveys his empathy for the pain and suffering of others. And friends, that is what is good corporate governance. And this letter continues, wealth is power. Intoxicated by such power, one may act unjustly towards another. You must be careful about this. You must be careful about this. Do leave this advice for your children. If they lead a life of comfort and luxury, then they would be committing sin and destroying our business activities. You must not bequeath, and please pay attention here, you must not bequeath wealth to such spoilt brats. Before it can reach them, distribute it to poor. You have to realize that you are the trustee of such wealth. Remember, you have to realize that you are the trustee of such wealth, and we brothers have generated this wealth in the hope that you will put it to good uses. Remember always that you hold wealth on behalf of the common citizens. You cannot use it for your selfish ends. That is what is good corporate governance. Never forget God. He gives right understanding. Keep your senses under control. Otherwise they will drown you. अपनी इंद्रियों को ज्ञानेंद्रियों को कंट्रोल में रखो, otherwise they will drown you. Physical exercise must be done regularly. Control your consumption of food. Those who eat to please the palate die early and cannot work enough. Your beloved father, Ghanshyam Das Birla. Now friends, I am sure with these four instances, these four anecdotes from history of this country, from Chanakya, from Samartha, from Jamshedji Tata, and from Ghanshyam Das Birla, I am sure none of you would have any doubt as to what is good corporate governance, and you must be completely clear in your mind as to what is good corporate governance. Now, if you look at all these four instances, a question that arises as to what is purpose of a business. What Ghanshyam Das Birla ji is doing, what Jamshedji Tata is doing. Now, what they are doing, उनके जो एक्टिविटीज़ हैं या उन्होंने जिस तरह से उनके व्यवसाय उनके बिजनेस को कैरी फॉरवर्ड किया, उसको देख के एक क्वेश्चन दिमाग में आता है, और वो ये कि व्हाट इज पर्पस ऑफ अ बिजनेस. आई एम श्योर फ्रेंड्स, if I was to be in person, if this session was to be offline, and if we were to be face to face to each other, I would have loved to ask this question to every one of you as to what is purpose of a business. And I'm sure all of you would have given different answers. And it is quite possible that most of you would have said that the purpose of a business is to make profit. And let me tell you friends, if anybody thinks that the purpose of a business is to make profit, then he or she is completely wrong. Purpose of a business is not to make profit. And why the purpose of a business is not to make profit? And that is because making profit in business is mandatory. Making profit in business is compulsory. Making profit in business is not a matter of choice. If you are in a business, you have to make profit or you better make profit. And if you are in business and you are not making profit, the least that you can do is to hand that business over to somebody who can make profit out of that business. And today, of course, we all know now there is a law. So you have an insolvency and bankruptcy code 2016, and that is what? That is in case if somebody is not running his business profitably, and if he is not running his business profitably, that means he is not able to pay his creditors, operational creditors and the financial creditors on time. And if he is not able to pay his operational creditors and the financial creditors on time, that means what? That means the creditors can take this company to the NCLT and pass order, and thereby this company will no longer belong to this management or this ownership. It will be passed on to somebody else. And therefore, please remember, purpose of a business is not to make profit. Then what is the purpose of a business? Purpose of a business is to create value. So if you and I have to understand as to what is good corporate governance, how to implement good corporate governance, you and I need to be very clear in the first place, and that is purpose of a business is to not make profit, because profit you have to make, but the purpose of a business is to create value. Doesn't really matter as to where you are and what product, what industry, what service, what size, government, private, doesn't really matter as to what kind of company you are, what kind of a business you are, private limited, public limited, partnership, property, doesn't really matter. Irrespective of everything, the purpose of a business is to create value, and that is the purpose of a business. तो अगर मैं आपको थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करके बताऊं तो मैं ये कह सकता हूं, और मे बी द पर्पस ऑफ अ बिजनेस कैन बी अंडरस्टूड स्लाइटली डिफरेंटली. And how slightly differently? So purpose of a business can be understood, number one is to create value by making profit, or is to make profit by creating value. And why do I say this? I say this because if you are in a business and you want to create value, and if you are not making profit, remember, you will not remain in the business for a very long time, because for you to remain in the business, profit has to be earned. And that's why I say that the purpose of a business is to create value by making profit, or you can say it, purpose of a business is to make profit by creating value. So if you are making profit in business without creating value, remember, you are committing a sin. That means you are not following the good corporate governance apparently. So the examples of Vijay Mallya, the examples of Nirav Choksi, the example of Nirav Modi or Mehul Choksi are the classic examples, where these guys were trying to make profit without creating value, and they were not worried about the society, the nation, the nature, the country. They were only worried about themselves, how by hook or crook to amass wealth for themselves, and that is where you get into trouble. So the purpose of a business is to create value by making profit, or make profit by creating value. Now the question is, how do you create value? So you create value by converting resources into result, and then result into resources. क्या मतलब है इसका? इसका मतलब ये है कि जमशेदजी टाटा ने क्या किया, घनश्याम दास बिरला जी ने क्या किया. घनश्याम दास जी बिरला जी और जमशेदजी टाटा ने, उनके पास में जो कैपिटल थी, उस कैपिटल को यूज करके प्लांट खड़ा किया, राइट? प्लांट खड़ा किया. तो जब आप पैसे को यूज करके प्लांट खड़ा करते हो, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग? यू आर कन्वर्टिंग रिसोर्सेज इनटू रिजल्ट. पैसा क्या है? रिसोर्स है. प्लांट क्या है? रिजल्ट है. So how do you create value? The first step in the creation of value is to convert resources into result. यानी कि पैसे का इस्तेमाल करके नॉलेज का इस्तेमाल करके आप क्या करिए, एक फैक्ट्री डालिए. तो आपने कन्वर्टिंग रिसोर्सेज इनटू रिजल्ट, फैक्ट्री खड़ी कर दी. अब आप क्या करेंगे? फैक्ट्री खड़ी हो गई. व्हाट विल यू डू? यू विल गो टू मार्केट and buy a lock and put onto the factory gate. Answer of course is no. Now what you will do, now that you have set up a plant, you have set up a factory, now run it. So when you run it, you produce it. You will sell it. When you sell it, you get money. So now what is happening? Now you are converting result into resources. यानी कि जो प्लांट है, जो फैक्ट्री है, उसका यूज करके आप क्या कर रहे हो? आप उसका यूज करके रिसोर्सेज जनरेट कर रहे हो, पैसा जनरेट कर रहे हो. So that is how you create value. So you create value. How you create value? You create value by converting resources into result and result into resources. अब सवाल ये है कि why do you do it? Why Tatas would do it? Why Birlas will do it? Why Murthis will do it? Why Azim Premji will do it? And they will do it, and all of their types will do because they want to contribute to the economy, make a positive impact in everyone's life without causing irreparable damage to the planet, right? So purpose of a business is to create value. How do you create value? You create value by converting resources into result and result into resources, And why do you do it? You do it because you want to contribute to the economy of the nation that you belong to. You would do it because you want to bring smiles on the faces of others. You would do it because you would like to make a positive impact in the life of people. And that is why you will do create value. अब देखिए, इसको आप इस तरह से भी समझ सकते हैं कि जब आप रिसोर्सेस को कन्वर्ट करते हो रिजल्ट में, व्हाट यू आर अचीविंग ग्रोथ, इजंट इट? कैपेक्स कर रहे हो आप, ग्रोथ होगी। और जब आप वो रिजल्ट को रिसोर्सेज में कन्वर्ट करना शुरू करते हो, मीनिंग व्हाट? मीनिंग यू आर जनरेटिंग प्रॉफिट। एंड जब आप ये सब कुछ दूसरों के जीवन में पॉजिटिव डिफरेंस लाने के लिए करते हो, जब आप ये सब कुछ देश की इकोनॉमी को में कंट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए करते हो, दैट मीन्स व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, you are working for good corporate governance and you are working for sustainability. You are working for sustainability. And that is what is good corporate, that is what is value creation, that is what is value creation, and that is what is purpose of a business. And I'm sure friends, अगर आप ये सब कुछ करते हैं, now that is also leadership. तो लीडर क्या करते हैं? Leaders do things so as to make positive difference in the life of others. जमशेदजी टाटा ने क्या किया? घनश्याम दास बिरला जी ने क्या किया? समर्थ ने क्या किया? चाणक्य ने क्या किया? Of course, I am giving you these 4 examples because they come to my mind immediately, but there are thousands of such examples who have done it for their country, for their nation, for the economy, and for the entire humanity. I'm sure a question must be coming into minds of every one of you, and that question is, what is value creation? I can give you a very simple definition, friends, of value creation, and the simplest definition that I can give you of value creation is to work to make this world a better place to live today than what it was yesterday is value creation. So what is value creation? Value creation is to make this world become a better place to live today than what it was yesterday, and that is what is value creation. Now, what is purpose of our life? And let me tell you, friends, in my understanding, purpose of our life and purpose of the business is not different at all. Purpose of a business and purpose of we all is one and the same, and that is to make this world a better place to live today than what it was yesterday. And please remember, it's only when the individuals will have that thought, the corporates will do that. What corporates do, corporates basically execute the thought process of the humans. तो अगर humans को लगता है कि उनके जीवन का मकसद है to make this world a better place to live today than what it was yesterday, obviously what they will do when they go to the corporates, they will start implementing their thought process through the corporates, and the corporates start creating value. Now, how does good corporate governance relate with Ram Rajya? I'm sure, as I had mentioned some time back, मुझे कई बार जैसे मुझे लगता है कि गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस में और राम राज्य में काफ़ी सिमिलरिटी हैं, और क्या सिमिलरिटीज़ हैं उसको हम समझेंगे, पर उसके पहले हम ये समझ लें कि व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ राम राज्य। जब हम बोलते हैं राम राज्य तो उसका मतलब क्या है, एक बार हमको ये समझ में आ जाए कि राम राज्य का क्या मतलब है, फिर हम कंपेयर कर सकते हैं कि गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस क्या है, और फिर हम एक कंक्लूजन निकाल सकते हैं कि राम राज्य और गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस में क्या रिलेशनशिप है। सो व्हाट इज राम राज्य? व्हाट इज राम राज्य? राम राज्य का अर्थ है सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, माँ कश्चित दुख भाग भवेत्। तो दिस इज राम राज्य, दिस इज वुड हैपन इन राम राज्य। सबका भला हो, सबका मंगल हो, सब स्वस्थ हो, मस्त हो, तंदुरुस्त हो, समृद्ध हो, संपन्न हो, ये दिस इज व्हाट इज राम राज्य। राम राज्य का अर्थ है परहित सरस धर्म नहीं भाई, पर पीड़ा सम नहीं अधिमाई। सो दिस इज व्हाट वाज प्रैक्टिस ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ लॉर्ड रामा। भगवान राम के समय में ये सारी प्रैक्टिसेस थी। परहित सरस धर्म नहीं भाई, पर पीड़ा सम नहीं अधमाई। क्या मतलब है? यानी कि परोपकार से बड़ा कोई धर्म नहीं है, और दूसरों को पीड़ा देने से बुरा कोई अधर्म नहीं है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज राम राज्य। राम राज्य का मतलब है वसुदेव कुटुंबकम। अब मैं दोस्तों आपको बताऊं कि आई वॉज वर्किंग विद अ कंपनी कॉल्ड ArcelorMittal. ArcelorMittal is world's largest steel and mining company. They produce 10% of the steel of the entire world, and they have operations in more than 60-70 countries, and they produce all kinds of steel, and they have got all kinds of mining. I was with them for a period of 6 years, and in those 6 years had the opportunity of traveling the whole world 4 times, and delivered my training programs in all the locations, virtually in all the locations wherever the ArcelorMittal had their operations, and I delivered my training programs in the domain of finance, in IFRS, SOX, valuation, corporate governance, and so on and so forth. और पूरी दुनिया में मुझे घूमने का मौका मिला, और पूरी दुनिया में मुझे टॉप एग्जीक्यूटिव्स के साथ में इंटरेक्ट करने का मौका मिला, मिडिल एग्जीक्यूटिव के साथ में इंटरेक्ट करने का मौका मिला, बिकॉज नॉट ओनली आई वाज डिलीवरिंग प्रोग्राम इन फाइनेंस, बट आई वाज ऑल्सो कंडक्टिंग yoga sessions, because everywhere wherever I would travel for delivering the finance training sessions, invariably people would come to know that I also do yoga sessions, and they would request that I must also do yoga sessions, and that is how I also had the opportunity of interacting with the people all across the hierarchy of all the plants all over the globe. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि उन सब से इंटरेक्शन करने के बाद एक चीज मुझे जो ध्यान में आई वो ये कि परहित सरस धर्म नहीं भाई is practiced and understood only in India. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is practiced and understood only in India, only in Bharat. भारत में ही हम वसुदेव पूरे विश्व को हमारा परिवार मान के चलते हैं. पूरे विश्व के किसी भी देश में यह परिकल्पना नहीं है कि पूरा विश्व एक ही परिवार है. हम हैं जो पूरे विश्व में हमारा ही देश है भारत, जो इसमें विश्वास रखता है, उसको मानते आया है, और राम राज्य के समय भी ऐसा ही था. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, ऐसा मंत्र दुनिया में कहीं पर भी नहीं है. ये हमारे और हमारे भारत में है कि जब हम सोचते हैं कि सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सब निरोगी हों, सब स्वस्थ हों, ये हम ही सोचते हैं. एंड दिस इज व्हाट ऑल वाज देयर ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ राम राज्य, एंड दिस इज व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ राम राज्य. राम राज्य का अर्थ है रघुकुल रीत सदा चले आई, प्राण जाए पर बचन न जाई. नाउ दिस इज व्हाट वाज इन राम राज्य. यानी कि एक बार कमिटमेंट दे दिया तो फिर कुछ भी हो, कमिटमेंट को तो पूरा करना ही करना है. घनश्याम दास बिरला कमिटमेंट देते हैं, पूरा करते हैं. समर्थ कमिटमेंट देते हैं, पूरा करते हैं. जमशेदजी टाटा कमिटमेंट करते हैं, पूरा करते हैं. कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है, कोई बोलने वाला नहीं है, कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है, कोई कहने वाला नहीं है कि आप ऐसा करो, लेकिन वो कमिटमेंट अपने आप से करते हैं. और कैसा कमिटमेंट करते हैं कि रघुकुल रीत सदा चले आई, प्राण जाए पर बचन न जाए. 1902 में इसकी कल्पना करी, 1904 में देहावसान हुआ, 1906 में स्टील प्लांट डाला, और 1912 में स्टील प्रोड्यूस हुई. Now that is what is called commitment, and that is what is the meaning of Ram Rajya. And I'm sure friends, आज मैं और आप, हम सभी लोग पढ़ते हैं, सुनते हैं, और पूरी दुनिया में लोग जो गुड गवर्नेंस की बात कर रहे हैं, you will see all the good governance, and I'm sure जैसे जैसे हम आगे बढ़ेंगे, और आप इसको याद रखना, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, परित सरस धर्म नहीं भाई, वसुदेव कुटुंबकम. ये जो हम डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं राम राज्य के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, जब हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और SDGs की बात करेंगे, उसको कोरिलेट करना, ताकि आपको गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस क्या है वो अच्छी तरह से समझ में आएगी. बिकॉज टुडे द होल वर्ल्ड इज टॉकिंग अबाउट गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस, विच इज नथिंग बट राम राज्य. नाउ हाउ सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड हाउ राम राज्य एंड गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस आर कनेक्टेड विद ईच अदर. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दैट. ओके, So how were the socio-economic and political situations during the राम राज्य? तो राम राज्य के समय में ये सारी सिचुएशन कैसे थी, अब जरा हम उसको समझ के लेते हैं. तो देखिए फ्रेंड्स, जब हम, आई एम श्योर एज हैज बीन माई एक्सपीरियंस, must have been your experience also. So when you were small, as I was small, when you went to school, as I went to school, we always heard about the Ram Rajya and how the things were during the Ram Rajya. So based on my understanding of what I heard and understood during those days, let me share with you कि राम राज्य में how was the socio-political and economic situations during the Ram Rajya. No poverty, zero hunger, गुड हेल्थ एंड वेल बीइंग फॉर ऑल, क्वालिटी एजुकेशन, गुरुकुल थे, सभी को मालूम है राम राज्य में. और गुरुकुल में जो शिक्षा दी जाती थी, आज हम उस शिक्षा की कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते हैं. सो ड्यूरिंग इन द गुरुकुल यू वुड बी गिवन ऑल इंक्लूसिव all inclusive, comprehensive, all round teaching. That is the education that you would get during the Ram Rajya. Gender equality, आप सभी को मालूम है दशरथ ने केकई को वरदान दिया, और केकई को जो वरदान दिए दो, उस कमिटमेंट को उन्होंने पाला भी. कमिटमेंट एंड जेंडर इक्वालिटी, decent work and economic growth, no inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, life on land was fantastic, we all know this, peace, justice and strong institution for all. सबके लिए न्याय की व्यवस्था थी और सबके लिए न्याय की व्यवस्था एकदम बराबर थी. And partnerships for the goal, partnerships for the goal. And how do I illustrate this with you? I can illustrate this with you, friends. We all heard, we all are aware कि भगवान राम ने श्रीलंका जाने के लिए राम सेतु बनाया, और उस राम सेतु को भगवान राम ने अकेले नहीं बनाया. भगवान राम ने वो जो बनाया उसमें किन्होंने मदद करी? बहुत लोगों ने मदद करी. पूरी वानर सेना थी, हनुमान जी थे, सुग्रीव थे, विभीषण थे, लक्ष्मण थे, और एक गिलहरी भी थी. सो दैट इज पार्टनरशिप फॉर द गोल. जो आपका गोल है उसके लिए आप अकेले नहीं बढ़ते हैं, उसको पार्टनरशिप से बढ़ते हैं. दीज आर द 12 थिंग्स दैट आई कुड रिकलेक्ट that would prevail during the Ram Rajya. Now let us understand in the same context as to what are the 17 sustainable development goals, and which are known as SDGs, and I'm sure all of you are fully aware of these 17 sustainable development goals. These 17 sustainable development goals earlier were known as Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, before 2015. After 2015, these MDGs were changed to Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, by UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, and these 17 Sustainable Development Goals are to be achieved by all the countries of the world by the year 2030. अब जरा ध्यान से सुनिए और फोकस करिए, अटेंशन करिए कि ये 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल क्या हैं. तो पहला गोल है नो पॉवर्टी, दूसरा गोल है नो जीरो हंगर, तीसरा गोल है गुड हेल्थ एंड वेलबींग, चौथा गोल है क्वालिटी एजुकेशन, पांचवा गोल है जेंडर इक्वलिटी, छठवां गोल है क्लीन वाटर एंड सैनिटेशन, सातवां गोल है अफोर्डेबल एंड क्लीन एनर्जी, आठवां गोल है डिसेंट वर्क एंड इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, नवां गोल है इंडस्ट्री इनोवेशन एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. द 10th गोल इज रिड्यूस इनइक्वालिटीज, 11th is sustainable cities and communities, 12th is responsible consumption and production, 13th is climate action, 14th is life below water, 15th is life on land, 16th is peace, justice and good and strong institutions, and the 17th goal is partnership for the goals. सो हमने क्या देखा? हमने 12 पॉइंट देखे. कौन से? वो जो कि राम राज्य में प्रीवेलेंट थे, राम राज्य में प्रैक्टिस होते थे. फिर हमने क्या किया? फिर हमने 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल को देखा जो कि यूएनजीए ने निकाले हैं पूरी दुनिया के लिए, ताकि पूरी दुनिया में एक अच्छी व्यवस्था स्थापित हो सके. अगर आप इनको गौर से देखेंगे तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा, आउट ऑफ दीज 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स विच यूएनजीए हैज ब्रॉट आउट, 12 goals are the ones that we discussed in the context of political economic situations that prevailed during the time of Ram Rajya. And that means what? That means today's good corporate governance, friends, in my view, is nothing but it is Ram Rajya. Ram Rajya. So this is how we would. The 5 components which were not prevalent during the Ram Rajya, which are incorporated as part of these 17 sustainable development goals, are clean water and sanitation. I suppose this is a unique problem of today. Maybe it was not there in any case that time. Affordable and clean energy. Again, this is a unique problem of the current situation that we are in, and maybe it was not prevalent at that time. Industry innovation and infrastructure. Again, is a unique problem, unique situation for the current environment. Climate action, again, climate at that time, there were no industries of this kind. So therefore, again, it's a unique situation of the current times. Life below water is again a unique situation of the current times. So these are, friends, 17 sustainable development goals, and this is how they connect with the Ram Rajya. So really speaking, what we are saying, that good corporate governance, really speaking, is synonymous with Ram Rajya. Now, let's move forward and understand what is common among MDGs, SDGs, ESG, CSR, Schedule 7, GRC, 3Rs, Circular Economy, 3P bottom line, NVG, NGRBC, BRSR, and Sustainability or Sustainable Development. We have understood what is sustainability and what is sustainable development. I am sure most of you would be aware with most of these terms. It is quite possible that some of you may not, and therefore for the benefit of those who are not, let me quickly explain this. So MDG stands for Millennium Development Goals, which is nothing but the earlier version of SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that we just spoke about. ESG, of course, E stands for environment, S stands for society, and G stands for governance. CSR, we all know, is corporate social responsibility. Schedule 7 is part of Companies Act 2013. GRC is governance, risk management, and compliance. 3R is reuse, reduce, and repair. So reduce, reuse, and repair. यानी कि रिड्यूस करो, यानी कि नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज का जो कंजम्पशन हो रहा है उसको रिड्यूस करो ताकि उनको प्रिजर्व करा जा सके, उनको रिपेयर करो ताकि उनको दोबारा से यूज़ किया जा सके, और उनको रीयूज़ करो, रिपेयर करो, रीयूज़ करो। यानी कि ऐसा नहीं कि आपने एक प्लास्टिक की थैली ली और उसको फिर फेंक दिया, आप उसकी प्लास्टिक की थैली को यूज़ करते रहो, करते रहो, करते रहो, करते रहो, बिकॉज देन यू आर हेल्पिंग द इकोनॉमी एंड यू आर हेल्पिंग द क्लाइमेट एज वेल. So this 3Rs is also known as circular economy. So reuse, repair, recycle, reduce. So when you all this, so what you're doing is you are reporting the natural resources into a cycle, and that is how it is also referred as circular economy. 3P bottom line. Now what is 3P bottom line? So today the world leaders and the global organizations talk in terms of not the profit, they talk in terms of 3P bottom line. And what is 3P bottom line? 3P bottom line is P is for the profit, P is for the people, and P is for the planet. So today the corporates are expected not to focus only on profit, they are also expected to focus on the people, because ultimately profit that they earn is with the use of the people that they employ in the business, and the focus is also on third P is planet. Third P is planet, and that is what is known as 3P bottom line. So businesses are expected to look at their bottom line in terms of people, profit, and planet. And why planet, friends? Let's understand. That is because in life, to face different situations, you can have a plan A and you can have a plan B. But remember, as far as the life is concerned, you only have a planet A, you do not have a planet B. So this planet that we have is the only planet that we have, and that is why it is obligation of every one of us, not necessarily only of the corporates. Every individual, every business organization is responsible for taking care of all these 3 Ps. And the best part is businesses, the research shows businesses who take care of these 3 Ps, they prosper, their valuations go up. NVG, National Voluntary Guidelines on the Corporate Governance. NGRBC, as I had mentioned earlier, पहले इनको NVG कहते थे और NVG को कन्वर्ट करके उनको NGRBC कहा जाने लगा, और NGRBC का मतलब है नेशनल गाइडलाइंस ऑन रिस्पॉन्सिबल बिजनेस कंडक्ट. अब देखो ये थोड़ी सी ट्रिकी सिचुएशन है, थोड़ी सी आयरनी है कि रेगुलेटर्स हैव टू टेल द बिजनेसेस about the responsible business conduct. And remember, the intent is not to find out the fault. The intent is to ensure that there is a standardization all over and all across. BRSR, of course, is business responsibility and sustainability reporting, and this is how it is. So अब मैं चाहूँगा फ्रेंड्स कि अब मैं ये सारे जो मैंने अभी आपके साथ में टर्म्स डिस्कस किए हैं, मैं सारे टर्म्स आपको एक एक करके एक्सप्लेन करने वाला हूँ, और मैं चाहूँगा कि आप इनको ध्यान से सुने और आप देखेंगे कि ये सारे जो टर्म्स हैं, वो MDG हो, SDG हो, RBC हो, उस सब में ये टर्म्स कॉमन हैं. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि नाम अलग अलग हैं लेकिन चीज़ एक ही है, और चीज़ एक है और मकसद भी एक है. So what will the PDGs, what will the MDG, the Millennium Development Goal, comprise of? Poverty eradication, food security and nutrition, energy for all, sustainable transport, sustainable cities, health and population, promoting full and productive employment. तो अभी आपने देखा कि हमने इसके पहले राम राज्य के 12 पॉइंट्स की बात करी, उसके पहले हमने SDG 17 SDGs की बात करी, और यू वुड हैव नोटिस कि वो सब में जो था और ये जो MDGs में है वो सब कुछ कॉमन है. These MDGs were followed by 17 SDGs. So SDG is Sustainable Development Goal, और ये Sustainable Development Goals मैं आपके साथ में डिस्कस कर चुका हूँ. यहाँ पर एक चीज जो हम सभी को सोचने की है वो ये, as it is aimed and targeted that all the economies of the world should achieve all these 17 sustainable development goals in their respective countries by 2030. क्या लगता है आपको कि अगर दुनिया के सारे देश ये 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स को इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे तो उनकी इकोनॉमीज पे पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट होगा कि नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट होगा? क्योंकि 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स coming from UNGA, if they are to be implemented in an economy, will they increase cost of that economy or will they increase value of that economy? And friends, I am sure अगर आप इसको गौर से सोचेंगे तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा कि जो भी इकोनॉमीज ये 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स को इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगी उस इकोनॉमी की ग्रोथ बहुत ज़बरदस्त होने वाली है. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑल दीज सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स विल गिव impetus to the economic activities in those economies. So economic activities will go, the infrastructure would improve, the education level, health level of the people would improve, the climate would improve. So there is going to be all round improvisation in that economy, and obviously if everything is becoming positive, everything is becoming good, then the net effect or the net outcome is also going to be good. So these 17 sustainable development goals, friends, in my view, should not be taken as a cost. Rather, they should be taken as drivers of impetus to the economic growth in that economy. Now, we have heard of ESG. ESG, E stands for environment, S for social, and G for governance. Now, let me also share with you the different indicators of environment, social and governance. And again friends, I would like you to be attentive and check करिए और ध्यान से सुनिए कि ये जो indicators हैं under the ESG framework, you would see that these same indicators were there during the Ram Rajya, are there as part of the 17 SDGs, were part of MDGs, are also part of the entire framework. Okay. So just pay attention, because why I'm saying this, because then you would be able to correlate. Then you will stop looking ESG, SDG, Ram Rajya, MDG separately. Then you would be able to consolidate your thinking and you would be able to see that all of them is one and the same thing. Names are different, purpose is also same. So what are the indicators of environment? Number 1, initiative for long-term sustainability. Number 2, efficiency in use of energy. Number 3, scarcity of water to be taken care of. Number 4, emission of greenhouse gases to be taken care of. Number 5, waste management and recycling to be taken care of. You know, I spoke about the circular economy. I spoke about 3 R's. So you can see there, waste management and recycling. Use of natural resources, water and air pollution. Number 8, carbon offsets, and number 9, ecology and natural heritage. So you can see that all these points that we read here, that we hear here under the environment, under the ESG framework, are there as part of the MDG, SDG, and also of Ram Rajya, and also sustainability. Under the social, the first point that you have is ethical sourcing in the supply chain. Number 2, following applicable labor laws. Number 3, consumer satisfaction. Number 4, safety standards of products. Number 5, work culture. Number 6, inclusion and diversity. Number 7, data privacy. Number 8, community outreach. Number 9, training and development of employees, right? So training and development of employees, 3P that we spoke about: profit, planet, people. So training, development and employees is part of the people. Governance. Number 1, relationships with the regulators, history of shareholders litigation, composition and independence of board, disclosure and transparency in reporting. Number 5, minority interest of shareholders. Number 6, compensation to executives. That is how you have a remuneration committee as part of the SEBI regulations. Number 6, compensation to executives. Number 7, diversity in management, and that is how you have women director being sought. And number 8, separation of the role of CEO and chairman. And I'm sure all of you would be aware that couple of years back, SEBI had come out with a regulation that the same person cannot hold the position of the managing director and the chairman. And somehow, unfortunately or incidentally, after a while they had to roll it back and postpone its implementation sometime in the future. But the clarity is there, understanding is there, that it is necessary for good corporate governance to happen in any business. There has to be separation of the roles of CEO and the chairman, or the managing director and the chairman. So relationship between the ESG and sustainability. So I'm sure, friends, when you look at these 9 factors, indicators under the environment, when you look at the 9 factors under the social, and when you look at the 8 factors under the governance, you can see very clearly that all these factors, implementation of all these practices is absolutely must for the sustainability. If any of these points or some of these points are not taken care of by the corporates and the people, then the sustainability, there's going to be a big question mark on the sustainability. For example, scarcity of water. If there is no water, can you imagine sustainability of planet or this to happen? Waste management, recycling. If there is no recycling and there's too much of waste, you can very well imagine that all the resources that we have in this planet will get exhausted very fast, and then nothing will left for the benefit of people. Ecology and natural heritage. अगर हम केयर नहीं करेंगे और एक ऐसे पॉइंट पे पहुंच जाएं कि जहां खेती करना संभव नहीं होगा, तो फिर अगर खेत नहीं होंगे तो अनाज नहीं होंगे तो फिर खाने को नहीं होगा, और खाने को नहीं होगा तो फिर obviously sustainability will be under a very big question. So I'm sure, friends, you can very clearly see and visualize and understand and appreciate the relationship between the ESG and sustainability. Having said that, let me also tell you, so it is not that only ESG is related with sustainability. 17 SDGs are also related with sustainability. MDGs are also related with sustainability. And all that I am going to discuss with you is also connected with sustainability. 9 principles of national voluntary guidelines. So now these were there earlier, and these were substituted by the national guidelines on responsible business conduct. So what are these 9 principles? Number 1. So the regulators or the government is telling the industry or the corporates, business should conduct and govern themselves. Number 1, business should conduct and govern themselves with integrity and in a manner that is ethical, transparent and accountable. Number 2, provide goods and services in a manner that is sustainable and safe. So this is what is expected, कि कोई business है तो उस business में किस तरह के goods और services देने चाहिए जो कि sustainable हो, जो कि safe हो. Number 3, respect and promote the well-being of all employees, including those in their value chain. Number 4, respect the interest of and be responsive to all stakeholders. So it's not that you have to focus only on the shareholders. No, a business has to focus not only on the shareholders but all the other stakeholders as well. Number 5, respect and promote human rights. Number 6, respect and make efforts to protect and restore the environment. Number 7, when engaging in influencing public and regulatory policy, should do so in a manner that is responsible and transparent. क्या मतलब है इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर आप पावरफुल हैं, आप इन्फ्लुएंशियल हैं, so you do influence the policy making, but don't do it only for your benefit. do it for the benefit of everyone. So that means be responsible and be transparent in influencing the policy making, and that is what is the meaning of the principle number 7 as part of the national voluntary guidelines. Principle number 8, promote inclusive growth and equitable development. Number 9, engage with and provide value to their consumers in a responsible manner. So friends, these are the 9 principles of national voluntary guidelines. These nationally voluntary guidelines are now known as the 9 principles of NGRVC. These NVGs converted into NGRVC are now mapped with BRSR. So हम सभी को मालूम है BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting Framework, brought out by SEBI, initially mandated for 1000 top corporates of this country based on the market cap. Among these 1000 also, it is in phases. So initially 150 and how it is going to be. So for the year 21-22 it was voluntary. From the year 22-23 it has become mandatory. So for these select corporates, implementation of BRSR is already mandatory. So now what has been done is these NGRVCs have been mapped with 17 SDG, and that itself shows the connectivity between all these frameworks that we are talking about. So for example, the first principle that we discussed as part of the NVG was that the businesses should conduct and govern themselves with integrity and in a manner that is ethical, transparent and accountable. So ये जो पहला principle है as part of the national voluntary guidelines, now known as responsible business conduct. Now this is mapped with the SDG number 16 and 17. So what is SDG number 16 and 17? So 16 is peace, justice and a strong institution. 17 is partnership for the goals. So meaning what? Meaning ये जो पहला principle है, this principle is mapped with SDG number 16 and SDG number 17. And this is to establish connectivity. कि आप है ना अलग अलग framework की बात कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ultimately you are talking about the same good corporate governance. Likewise, let's look at the principle number 5, and that is responsible business conduct. Respect and promote human rights. Respect and promote human rights. तो ये जो principle है respect and promote human rights, it is mapped with SDG number 5, 8 and 16. So what is 5? 5 is gender equality, 8 is decent work and economic environment, and 16 is peace, justice and strong institution. So these NVGs which were earlier known as National Voluntary Guidelines, these same NVGs are now known as National Guidelines on Responsible Business Conduct. Now these same 9 principles of National Guidelines on Responsible Business Conduct are mapped with different SDGs. So again, to highlight and bring to your notice कि ये चीज़ें अलग अलग हैं लेकिन सबका मीनिंग है, सब में एक ही चीज़ की बात करी गई है. तो अब हम देखते हैं कि Schedule 17 of Companies Act, what does it talk about? Again, you can see it talks about eradicating hunger, power and malnutrition. It is talking about promoting education, including special education and employment, promoting gender equality, empowering women, ensuring environmental sustainability, ecological balance, protection of national heritage, art and culture. So friends, why am I telling you all this again and again? Ki whether it is MDG or it is ESG or it is Schedule 7 of the Companies Act or it is NVG or it is NGRBC, why I am telling you again and again that their names may be different but their contents are same, and that is to help you become aware that ऐसा नहीं है कि सारी चीज़ों को समझना है, सिर्फ इतना है कि हमको उसके क्रक्स को समझना है, and that is the reason why I am highlighting to you again and again. So measure for the benefit of armed forces veteran. Now this is what you will not see as part of ESG. This is what you will not see as part of SDG. But this is perhaps Indian invention in the Schedule 7, and very rightly so, because ultimately it is the responsibility of the country to take care of the armed forces veterans who took care of us, in their heydays. So obviously we owe a lot to them, and that is why this is forming part of Schedule 7, very rightly so. Training to promote rural sports, contribution to Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. This of course is again not as part of the 17 SDG, not as part of the ESG, not as part of the MDG, not as part of the NVG, not part of the NGRBC, but it is there. But you can see that all this Prime Minister National Fund does, it takes care of all the activities which otherwise are part of NVG or ESG or SDG and things like that. Are SDG, ESG, GRC, NVG and NGRBC Schedule 17 different from each other? So जैसा मैंने पहले कहा और मैं फिर से रिपीट करता हूँ, in my understanding and in my view, not really. These are all tools for achieving sustainability, sustainable development and GSG by the corporates. So friends, I can see that the time in my watch is 11:40. So I'm sure all of you would like to take a brief bio break for 5 minutes. So let's take a brief break of 5 minutes. तो मेरी घड़ी में बज रहे हैं 11:40, तो हम लोग 11:45 पे शुरू करेंगे और 30 मिनट का टाइम है हमारे पास में, और वो 30 मिनट में हम बाकी का जो कंटेंट्स है उसको कवर करेंगे. सो सी यू इन 5 minutes. I will straight away start at 11:45 without any further announcement. So please make sure that you are there back in your chairs in next 5 minutes. Thank you and see you in next 5 minutes.